Ever wonder how a singer's name mispronunciation could lead to Disney magic? Meet Peabo Bryson.
Hey, I'm Leah, feeling curious today and ready to talk about Peabo Bryson.
And I'm Garrett, excited to dive into this. Laid back learning with Leah and Garrett.
Peabo Bryson, the warm baritone behind legendary love songs and duets that honestly shaped a lot of people's soundtrack to growing up.
Totally. From R&B radio to Disney anthems, his voice travels a really cool arc across generations.
Okay, quick confession. I once tried to sing A Whole New World at a karaoke night. I came in early on the key change, mixed up the Jasmine and Aladdin lines, and kind of turned it into a whole new word. Singular. People were supportive, but it was a hilarious train wobble. Later, I looked up the original duet with Peabo Bryson and Regina Belle, and I realized how precise and generous his duet style is. He leaves room, he breathes with his partner. It made me appreciate how a great duet isn't just two voices, it's a conversation set to melody.
That's pretty cool, and it fits him perfectly. He's got that warm baritone that feels like it wraps around the other singer. And you tackling a Disney classic at karaoke is brave. Those melodies are deceptively hard. The way Peabo and Regina Belle glide through the intervals sounds effortless, but you know that's years of craft showing up in 3 minutes.
So, big picture. Peabo Bryson was an American singer and songwriter who lived and breathed romantic ballads. He bridged R&B, pop, and adult contemporary meaning the softer, melody-forward radio format aimed at grown listeners, and he kept that crossover going for decades. He had major solo hits like If Ever You're in My Arms Again and duet magic with partners like Roberta Flack, who's a legendary soul and jazz vocalist, and later Regina Belle and Celine Dion, Celine being the Canadian pop powerhouse. And of course, those Disney themes that won Grammys.
Yeah, those Grammys came from Beauty and the Beast with Celine Dion and A Whole New World with Regina Belle. He had earlier momentum with albums like Reaching for the Sky and Crosswinds, which both went RIAOA Gold, gold meaning certified sales of 500,000 units in the US. And he wasn't locked to just one lane. He moved labels strategically, wrote and arranged, and kept landing songs across both R&B and adult contemporary charts. On the Billboard Hot 100, the main US singles chart that blends sales, radio, and now streaming, he even cracked the top 10.
Let's unpack where it started. Peabo, born Robert Peabo Bryson, came from Greenville, South Carolina in 1951, and those roots matter. Gospel, soul, blues, all around him. He spent time on his grandfather's farm in Malden, and his mom took the family to concerts by big black artists of the era. That's like a live masterclass in phrasing and stage presence when you're a kid.
By 14, he was already professional, singing backup for Al Freeman and the Upsetters, Al Freeman being a local Greenville band leader, and that's where the name Peabo sticks. His middle name was Peepo, French West Indian, and Freeman's mispronunciation turned it into a catchy stage name. Kind of wild how a small moment like that becomes brand identity for a lifetime.
At 16, he takes off to tour the Chitlin Circuit with Moses Dillard and the Textown Display, Moses Dillard being a guitarist and band leader. The Chitlin Circuit was a network of venues where black artists could perform, especially before and during desegregation. It was tough, real-world training, different rooms, different crowds, sometimes hard conditions, but it forged durability and showmanship.
Then, the studio door opens. He's at Atlanta's Bang Records, an independent label, and Eddie Bisco, the general manager there, brings him in not just as a singer, but as a writer, producer, and arranger. That's where he hones the behind-the-scenes skills, and Bisco nudges him to step out front with his own songs.
By 1976, he releases a debut single, Underground Music, and the album Peabo, both on Bang. Those are regional steps, but they show what's coming. His voice is centered, phrasing tidy, romantic themes already in the frame.
Next move is key. In 1977, he signs with Capitol Records, a major label with big distribution. That's gasoline on the spark. Reaching for the Sky arrives with Feel the Fire, and suddenly you've got this signature ballad that other artists will later cover.
Then Crosswinds hits in 1978 with I'm So Into You and the title track getting real radio love, both Reaching for the Sky and Crosswinds go gold, which is a vote of confidence from audiences and also gives an artist leverage for the next steps.
Here's where his duet Superpower starts popping. In 1979, he makes We're the Best of Friends with Natalie Cole, Natalie being the Grammy-winning singer and daughter of Nat King Cole. Then Live and More with Roberta Flack in 1980, and later Born to Love with Flack in 1983, which gives Tonight, I Celebrate My Love. That one becomes a wedding slow dance classic for a reason. Two voices, space between the lines, and an arrangement that never rushes.
He pivots to Elektra Records in 1984, and the solo hit If Ever You're in My Arms Again takes off. It tops the adult contemporary chart, again that's the soft pop radio lane, and it reaches number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. That dual format success is hard. It means he's making songs that land with both urban R&B fans and mainstream pop listeners.
There's also the TV thread. In 1985, he appears on One Life to Live, a daytime soap opera, singing a lyric version of its theme. By 1986, his voice is built into the daily theme music, and it stays there until 1992. That's ambient exposure. People are hearing him every afternoon, even if they're not turning on R&B radio.
He keeps albums coming. Quiet Storm in 1986, a nod to the late-night R&B radio format for smooth ballads. Positive in 1988, All My Love in 1989 with Show and Tell. Then 1991 brings Can You Stop the Rain, a number one R&B albums chart moment, and the title track becomes one of his defining solo performances.
And then, the Disney breakthrough. In 1992, Beauty and the Beast with Celine Dion wins a Grammy, and A Whole New World with Regina Belle becomes the first song from an animated feature to hit number one on the Hot 100. That's a barrier breaker. Suddenly, kids, parents, and grandparents all know his voice. It's a cross-generational passport.
But success doesn't cancel real-life stress. In 2003, the IRS seized property from his Atlanta home over unpaid taxes dating back to 1984. 2 Grammys were even auctioned. That's tough. A close family friend bought the A Whole New World Grammy with the intent to return it, which says a lot about the support around him.
The arc after that shows resilience. He releases Missing You in 2007 on Peak Records. Then in 2018, he teams with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, legendary producers known for shaping modern R&B and pop, on Stand for Love, on their Perspective Records imprint. That pairing tells you he's staying current without losing himself.
There's the human side, too. He marries Tanya Boniface in 2010. She's a singer from the UK group The 411, and they welcome a son in 2018. He also has a daughter from a previous relationship plus grandchildren. His son, nicknamed Kit, sometimes joined him on stage, which is such a sweet through line, music as a family affair.
Health challenges come into play. He had a heart attack in 2019, recovered, and kept performing. In 2026, CBS reported he'd suffered a stroke, and he passed away shortly after in June 2026 at 75. A long life in music with a lot of grace under pressure.
And he never stayed in one box. He even performed as Sporting Life, the charismatic tenor role in the opera Porgy and Bess with the Michigan Opera Theater, which takes real theatrical agility. Internationally, he won the Viña del Mar Festival in 2000, representing France, which is unexpected, and received the Gaviota de Oro, the Golden Seagull Trophy in Chile. That's broad reach.
Late career, he's still recording. Grace lands in 2026. So from that first 1976 album to 2026, that's 5 decades of output. The Disney duets, the R&B chart runs, the adult contemporary crossovers, together they build a catalog that keeps turning up in new places and new generations' playlists.
There's an interesting loose thread. In 1993, there's a listing that mentions Best Original Song for I Found Love, co-written with Earl Rose. Earl Rose being a composer and pianist known for film and TV work, but the award source and result aren't specified. It's ambiguous. No one's pinning it to, say, the Oscars or Golden Globes or Emmys in the record we have.
Right, and if that were a verified major award win, it would tweak the narrative a bit. Not replacing the Disney Grammys, but adding another marquee feather. Awards can open doors, bigger budgets, more soundtrack calls, trust from studios who want a sure vocal closer for their credits.
Maybe. But I wonder how much difference it would make long term. His legacy feels anchored in the songs people keep singing. Like a trophy is amazing, but a whole new world hitting #1 and Beauty and the Beast becoming a standard might be the real lifetime pass. Do you think a confirmed 1993 win would change the way most people remember him?
I think it would matter to insiders more than casual fans. Industry folks track those credits closely. For the wider public, the emotional memory sits with the melody and the moment. So yeah, a verified win would lift the resume, but the duet chemistry is what lives in people's heads.
That makes sense. Recognition can shape opportunity, but the heart print, how a song lands at a wedding or on a night drive, is the legacy. Until someone pulls the official records, I Found Love stays an intriguing footnote rather than a headline.
In pop culture terms, those Disney themes are still everywhere. Kids learn them in music class, talent shows, school concerts, and because home releases and later streaming kept Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin in rotation, his recordings kept reaching new ears.
And don't forget, One Life to Live. Having his voice on a daily soap theme from 1986 to 1992 is a stealth masterstroke. That's 6 years of consistent exposure, which probably boosted recognition when the Disney songs arrived. It's like a gentle drum beat leading up to a drum roll.
Here's a what if to chew on. What if he never recorded the Disney duets? No Beauty and the Beast, no A Whole New World. He'd still have If Ever You're in My Arms Again, still have Can You Stop the Rain topping the R&B albums chart, still be the king of duets with Roberta Flack and Natalie Cole. But does he make that global, multi-generational leap?
I think he stays a beloved R&B and adult contemporary staple. Weddings would still spin Tonight, I Celebrate My Love. Radio would still cherish those late-night ballads. But the Disney songs gave him this family room common ground, parents sharing the soundtrack with their kids. Without that, fewer people under, say, 25 would know his name on sight.
And those 2 Grammys are specifically tied to Disney collaborations. Without them, maybe he still racks up nominations. He had plenty across R&B categories. But the trophy case looks different. The songs would still be quality, but the cultural megaphone would likely be smaller.
Also, film tie-ins have long tails. A soundtrack hit gets replayed in trailers, specials, reissues. That constant refresh probably helped him tour more broadly, too. Without it, he might lean even more into the Quiet Storm lane and theater work like Porgy and Bess, which would still showcase his range, just to a narrower slice of the world.
So, alternate timeline. Still a respected balladeer with heavy radio credentials, but not quite the same household name glow. The Disney Bridge is what connected him to kids who then grew up and carried those songs into their own lives.
Time to put a bow on it. Peabo Bryson's story blends early craft, duet mastery, resilience, through real-life storms, and songs that found a home in so many moments.
So there we have it. Let's cue up more of his catalog, Capitol classics, the Disney anthems, the late career cuts, and stay curious about the stories behind the songs.